Welcome back to the Vandy 24/7 podcast. I'm Joey Dwyer here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, actually. Vanderbilt's got some basketball news, though. Vanderbilt's landed Oklahoma transfer Duke Miles, averaged 9.4 points a game, 2.5 rebounds, 2 assists a game. I think will be an impact addition for Vanderbilt, visited this week, and Vanderbilt views him as a high-priced guy and a guy who will make an impact immediately. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be a starter. I think Frankie Collins and Tyler Harris probably going to be the main options at guard, and then hard to take Tyler Nickel out of the starting lineup as well. But Miles started all 34 games for Oklahoma last year. One of those guys where he's not awesome at anything, doesn't excel in anything necessarily, but he's a really good shooter, really efficient shooter, and has a history of being an on-ball, high-volume scorer. Was at a high point, averaged 17 a game there. That was a team that I thought could have made the NCAA tournament, got upset in the conference tournament a few years back, but Miles, I think, a 98 percentile catch and shoot guy, a guy who is probably going to be best playing off the ball, going to be able to defend a little bit better, and that way I think allows Frankie Collins and Tyler Tanner to guard on the ball when the guy brings the ball up the court. But I think Miles is the guy you're looking at and you're saying that's some real injury protection here, right? Like if Tanner gets hurt, he can slide to the 1. If Nickel gets hurt, he can slide to the 3. Probably be playing the 2, and probably takes a lot of pressure off Tyler Harris. We talked a lot about how they need a scoring 2 guard, and I don't know that Miles is like your Jason Edwards go get a bucket guy. I think he's a much different player, but also I think he fills a need for Vanderbilt in that way, and I also think he's a better player than I probably imagined Vanderbilt would get at this stage of the portal. They paid handsomely for him, but I think it was probably worth it considering the hole that was on the roster, which was a scoring 2 guard who can shoot it, who can put it on the floor a little bit, everything along those lines. And I think Miles, again, checks all those boxes and is a Swiss Army knife in a way that Vanderbilt needs him to be. He reminds me in that way of Chris Magnon, although I think their games are more different than similar, and I also think Miles is a more talented player. He's experienced. And I wondered, too, about the 2 decommitments in the portal. He had committed to Virginia, decommitted and went to Texas A&M, and then now is coming to Vanderbilt. But obviously Vanderbilt was not scared off by that, really like him. And I think, too, you look at, and I think it is unfair to him to just judge him by those 2 commitments as well, because from all accounts he was a good locker room guy at Oklahoma, and I think a good veteran there that kind of helped to keep their locker room composed. You look at the game, I think there was Mississippi State they played. He lost 5 teeth in the game and then came back, played. I mean, that's a testament to what he is, and I think testament to why he's a good player. He's selfless. He's a guy who plays really hard. He hustles. He defends multiple positions. Kind of a dirty work guy in some ways, but I think he's more talented than that. I think he's a good passer. I think he can get a shot a little bit, but I think he's more of an off-the-dribble guy at the mid-major level than in the SEC, and I think that kind of showed this year when he was on Oklahoma's roster. Was their 3rd leading scorer, though, and he's a consistent starter. He's a consistent rebounder. Again, not a guy who you're looking at and you're saying, man, that's an NBA player, or man, he's such an excellent off-the-dribble scorer. You're looking at him, though, and you're saying, man, that guy does a lot of things really well, and he's going to help Vanderbilt in a lot of ways. So, again, Duke Miles, I think Vanderbilt fans probably should have tempered the expectation for what that last scholarship was going to look like. Maybe Travis Perry would have been better long-term, but I do think Duke Miles is going to be a rotation guy for them. It honestly could be in the mix to start. I think he's that good to where he could push Tyler Harris or push Tyler Nickel, probably going to keep Frankie Collins in the starting lineup, but there's going to be a lot of competition on the back end of this Vanderbilt roster, and even on the front end throughout the first couple weeks of the summer and throughout the whole offseason. You feel like Duke Miles is a guy who, again, like you think about last year's roster, and we talked about this a lot, like they had guys like MJ Collins who'd be starting elsewhere. He was like the 7th or 8th guy on that team. And that's kind of how I feel about this year's team, but to a greater extent. You often talk about depth as a big thing, but I mean, this team has it more than most Vanderbilt teams ever, I would say. They probably have a solid 10-man rotation. I saw somebody say they can switch lines like the Preds, and I don't think that's a massive exaggeration here. Like, Vanderbilt has a lot of guys who give it a lot of different things. I think it was a beautifully crafted roster by Mark Byington. I think they're missing a low post threat, and they're missing a true off-the-bounce guy. I don't know if Tyler Harris or Duke Miles are that, but overall, a really efficient roster, a roster that shoots it really well, a roster with a lot of guys who do a lot of good things, a lot of different things, and man, is that a welcome sign for Vanderbilt basketball. It's dang near midnight here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, so we're going to cut it here. But Duke Miles, I think you get the point. Really nice addition for Vanderbilt at this point in the cycle. And Vanderbilt's roster is now complete. Looks pretty dang good. They've got some holes, but who doesn't, especially a team with one of the lower budgets in the league. I think Mark Byington and staff did a great job here. Done for the night, though. Lindsey Nelson 7. We're 2 podcasts in and 7 stories in. It's a marathon. Time to go home. But I wanted to get this out for you guys. Just some initial thoughts on Duke Miles. A real in-depth look on the site. So look at that and look at the commitment story, and then if you want, stop by and do watch some baseball coverage and read some baseball coverage as well. But I'm Joey Dwyer in the middle of the night from Lindsey Nelson Stadium. The only one here. Time to go home. And what a better way to end it than analyzing a basketball commitment. Yeah, crazy turn of events here, but we're done for the night. Thank you guys for watching. God bless. Peace.